And here we go, January 29th, 2020. This is, what is this, my third video? I believe so. And we're going to talk about your new life. Yeah, you know, the new life that the first two letters talked about. I know you guys have already got started on that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. If you see me occasionally look to the side, it's because I'm trying to stay on track with my newsletter. Newsletter's already done. I just haven't sent it out yet. But I was thinking in talking with a lot of different people over the years, many years, I've heard people talk, I want a new life. I want to start something new. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, in some cases, this is 40 years later, 30 years later, 5 years later, 6 months later. You know what? They haven't done anything. No, I'm not kidding. They haven't done anything. I hope you aren't one of those people. You know, oh, I wish this was different in my life 10 years ago. Fast forward, here we are, 2020. Have you changed anything? Did you do something different? Did you take a step towards fixing yourself? Oh boy. I saw a show recently, back in the game, with A-Rod, and he was talking to Brian Dunkelman. And some of you know he was the first host on American Idol, I think it was. Anyway, he's been basically out of the game for 16 or 17 years now. Why? Because he wanted to whine and cry about this happened to him and that happened to him and life just happened and he just couldn't get back on top of things and it was so awful and he did some bad things and blah, blah, blah. Just because he was a star doesn't make him immune to what every one of us at some time in our life have done. We will focus on something and oh, that prevents me from doing this. Oh, I can't do this because of that. Oh man, let me tell you, in church, you will have people that will say, oh, I would sing in the choir, or I would play an instrument, or I would help in this ministry or that department if somebody would ask me. Okay, so someone asks them, oh, I can't do that. Because my big toe hurts. Or I don't have the music at home to do that. Or, well, I don't really know. I don't really have the skills to work with the kids. Wait. Let's see. For years you've been saying you want to do something, you want to help, you want to be part of something, and then you're asking. There's your reason. You just can't do it because you can't commit. That's what the real truth is. You want to whine and cry because, you know, nobody asked me. Wait, somebody just asked you. But when you're talking to people outside the church or in a part of the church, maybe church family, other churches, and you say, you know, nobody asked me anything, and they just won't let me. Wait a minute. Why don't you adult up and tell the truth? You've been asked. You just didn't want to do it. That's the real thing. Or you were scared to do it. Oh boy, that's probably the biggest thing. Fear of failure. Because, oh, I wish I could do that. If I would do that if somebody would ask me and somebody asked you and then you go, oh, don't even give me that baloney. You need to get out of your own way. So what if you don't know the characteristics of the 8-year-olds and somebody asks you to teach 8-year-old children? Look on the internet. If you don't have the internet, get a book at the library. They're free. Look up the characteristics. Look up teaching techniques for young children. Or maybe the teens, and you're thinking, oh, my teens, oh, they're so hard. I love teaching teens. I like it because they ask questions. They ask questions. Sometimes I can't answer them. It's okay. I'll go find the answer. Next class, I'll say, hey, y'all know that question you asked me and I had no clue? Here's the answer. Or here's the best answer I was able to find. Or maybe they want you to be a parking lot attendant, or guide people in the parking lot. And you go, well, I'd like to do that, but what if it rains? They have things called umbrellas. Yes, they do. It's a new invention. It's really cool. You just take an umbrella and hold it over your head, and when people get out of the car, hold it over their head and walk them to the church. Anybody can find an excuse not to do something. Your big toe hurts, your left finger's giving you a problem. You sneezed twice this morning. I don't know. I don't know what the excuses are. I've probably used all of them. But anyway, you have to get over yourself. I had to get over myself. I had to quit saying, I would do this if. No, I'll do this if y'all need me. And then I'll find how to do it. I'll figure it out. Read a book, look on the internet, ask somebody. So to have a new life, you actually have to commit, look at Word Up Dictionary, commit to having a new life. How do you commit to it? By taking an action step. In my newsletter, I talked about it's almost effortless to begin a new life. Oh boy, I imagine when people read my newsletter, they will say, what is the Rev went off the... He's stupid. It's not effortless to have a new life. Well, yes, it is. I will tell you how. They had to read the whole newsletter to find out. I will tell you right up front. The way to have a new life is sit down. What do you want? What one thing is the thing you want to change in your life? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it is. What is it you want to change? I want to use something that I used to want to do. I wanted to lose weight. Well, and I did, of course. But what was one thing I had to do? I know somebody's already said stop eating. No, that's actually not an option. You can't stop eating. You've got to keep eating. But what I did do, I started eating less. So instead of having a half a gallon of ice cream, back when there was a half a gallon of ice cream, I went down to a small bowl of ice cream. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, boy, that was tough, but I did it. So I went from a half a gallon every night to a little bowl that held, 3 scoops, maybe. And I don't mean big scoops. But it gave me my taste for ice cream, and it cut the calories way back. I started losing weight. And one of the other things I did, I love bread. So I just didn't eat as much bread. Also, I started eating sourdough bread, which actually is a slow burning carb. So it didn't jack my blood sugar up, and I lost weight. In fact, I'm 70, as most of you know, and I've been married for 46 years, and I am 6 pounds over what I weighed when I got married 46 years ago. So I've been successful in doing these things incrementally, a little at a time. No, you're not going to lose 50 pounds in 30 days. Not healthily, anyway. But over time, you can lose weight, and you can keep it off. Don't go on a diet. Just change something in your eating that you will consistently do. I have consistently eaten smaller portions. I've even, those of you that know me probably thought I'd never say this, but in the last 3 years, I've even got to love salads. Yes, I have. So I don't call it rabbit food anymore. I like delicious salads with a good dressing on top of it. So there's a lot of things that you can do, and I just picked on weight because that was one of my issues, was weight. But maybe you want to get your degree, your bachelor's degree or whatever, associate's degree or master's degree or doctor's degree, and you think, oh my, that's so expensive. What can I do? Well, look up the costs of some nearby colleges or some online colleges. Find out what the costs are, what the reputations of the college uh, that you picked is, to see if it's you know, well known or accepted by the establishment of colleges, and then start setting aside the money as if you're making a tuition payment every week or bi-weekly or monthly, however you get paid. It tells you what the costs are. And so for the next 6 months to a year, start setting aside those payments so that you'll have a year's tuition that you can pay up front. Then the next year, you've already gotten into the habit of doing that. So you will be able to pay the following year's tuition up front. So you have to do these things incrementally to make it work and to be successful at it. Anybody can blow steam and talk about the big ideas, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that, and they're going to do the other, and 20 years later, they're still saying the same thing because they've taken no action. Figure this out on the calculator. And when I do my coffee with the Rev on Facebook, y'all can give me the answer. If you put 1 penny a day in a jar and double it every day